everybody. So today begins a set of 3 videos with projects I created using the January cherry box. You can still have time to go ahead and subscribe to this box of goodies if you want to. The subscriptions are month to month, so you can skip and cancel whenever you want. So if you're not liking the look of a kit, you can skip it as long as you do so before the 25th of the month or thereabouts. Whenever I start working with a new kit, the first thing I want to do is make a card. I feel like this really allows me to create something small and it allows me to kind of get familiar with the kit. This is a great way if you're going to make a bunch of projects with the same set of products. I have really found after 20 plus years of working with kits that the best way to tackle a new kit is to make a card, then make your 12 by 12 layouts that you want to make, and then come back and look at your scraps and what you have left and do things like a traveler's notebook spread or a smaller scrapbook page, maybe 8.5 by 11, or, make more cards. So I have started with 2 pattern papers. Each pattern paper I am roughing up with some Distress Tulle and then inking up with Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. Now, I want to have a good play with my card base. So I'm grabbing my Catalyst Wedge tool. I love this tool. You're actually going to see me use this quite a bit this month. Not so much with the rest of my projects, but we are working with acrylic paint for Technique Tuesday over at a Cherry on Top's YouTube channel, and acrylic paint is kind of my jam. And I like nothing more than to use acrylic paint with a Catalyst Wedge and kind of white out areas of either a layout or areas of a pattern paper. Once you let acrylic paint dry, it flattens out beautifully. So I've added 2 layers of just titanium white thick acrylic paint onto my card base, clean my glass mat off. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some of that crystal glaze that came in the cherry box. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to grab some Sizzix Maker's tape. And this is an old stencil from my stash, but any kind of like polka dotty kind of snowflakey stamp set will work. This crystal glaze from Sizzix, I've never used mixed media products from them before, but I was pretty impressed. This went over my stencil really easy, didn't smush underneath my stencil. It gave a really crisp, clean look to my card. So I'm just smoothing this crystal glaze, Sizzix crystal glaze, over my stencil. I'm going to pull it off, and then I'm going to set this aside to dry. I can go ahead and show you the close-up here. How pretty is that? Love how this turned out. Okay, next up, I have been a little obsessed with these evergreen and pine cone things. A lot of companies and cut file companies have come out with them. I think they're so cute and I love them. So I got this Sizzix Thinlits die. This is from a Cherry on Top's shop. You can kind of see it there. I want to cut one of those to be like a main kind of focal point on my card. So I'm going to just get into my bin of Basil cardstock and I'm going to grab some brown shades that I think will match really nicely with the colors in this kit. I grabbed shades to kind of match the idea of putting this die set together the way that that is shown on the front of the packaging. And I also am going to cut 2 of each thing to give it some extra dimension. So I went ahead off camera and I die cut all of the elements for my card. I've already layered up 3 of the die cuts. I know they're a little hard to see because I'm working on my glass mat, but I need to work on my glass mat because I'm still doing some messy stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these all together so that I have all of the different layers. So I cut 2 of the big pine cones and glued them together, 2 of the small pine cones and glued them together, and then 2 of these little kind of evergreen fronds and glued them together as well. I'm making my own card base here, so I generally make my own card bases. I wanted to make a more cream colored base. I did have some here that were already made, but they were white, and I wanted some cream. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to layer my first layer. So this is just the pattern paper with a distressed edge and Distress Oxide vintage photo ink around the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and on top of that larger panel, I'm going to put my mixed media panel, which has dried. This medium dried pretty fast. I definitely would say definitely give it some time to dry. But I think in about 45 minutes, unless you put like glopped a lot on, it should be dry. So now, like I said, I just decided to go with this dye the way it looked on the photo. So I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm not going to play too much with the configuration, but you absolutely could. These are really delicate and fun, and I really, really liked them. So I'm going to place them down onto my card front. And now I'm going to dress this card up. I'm going to start by putting on some of these Prima flowers that were part of the collection. Love these flowers mixed with winter die cuts. Jessica, who designs our cherry boxes, is a genius. I'm just saying, because this was genius. That's how I feel about this kit. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and go through the ephemera pack that comes in the kit, and I'm going to choose a sentiment for my card. I chose a dark blue die cut that said Warm Wishes on it. And then I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape just for a little bit more depth and dimension and interest. Now that I have my sentiment and my larger die cut in place, I can go ahead and play with the adhesive brads and the flowers and kind of create little clusters. I like wet glue for adhering things to a mixed media background. Tape runner doesn't always like to stick to a mixed media background, but Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive sticks fabulously. So I may have gone a little overboard here with the embellishing, but honestly, I wanted to, and I just love how like full and rustic this card turned out. It turned out awesome. This is the first of 3 videos using this kit. I will be bringing you one today, one tomorrow, one Wednesday, but if you want to see all the projects ahead of time before the videos go live, you can head over to the Cherry blog because they are all going to be up there today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye!